Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. So we had quite the experience, basically outside, I guess maybe not that direction outside, in which we were introduced into the idea of infinitely spawning enemies and introduced into a new gun with an MP40 SMG, which you can clearly see has no bullets because of the infinite enemies. In fact, I have basically no bullets in anything. But now we are inside the building, inside the German cave, Nazi castle, not cave. And so I imagine we're just going to be fighting people for the rest of this level inside the castle. We did the whole dungeon section. Like, we are finding a considerably larger amount of breakable material that just did not exist up until this point. Which, if this was a more modern game, I would wonder if there was a third-party developer who made this level and did something very different. I was not expecting that to work. Not at all.
That's not good.
Interesting. So I guess maybe I could throw a liquor bottle if I can open the door. So we're like in this dining room. This all kind of has a little bit of feeling like a Resident Evil 4 experience. Is this guy going to see me? Now, hitting that guy with a liquor bottle didn't seem to me like it did much more than just punching him once or twice would have done. So I don't know if there really was a value in that. But now we do have a little bit more bullets that we can use later as soon as we start to find people that can shoot at me. This Indiana Jones music, it cycles at too short of a length. Like, ideally, I think you would want the song to just play once, because the Indiana Jones music is this very much orchestral background song. But yeah, I think I would rather it just play once and then go quiet for a while, instead of getting little hints of the main audio and then having it pop back in as soon as you run into the next person you need to fight. Well, obviously there's a way to reach up there, but first things first, let's just go. Now we have to come out and bring out the Luger. We're going around in circles quite a bit to basically just have a small progression through a castle. In all fairness though, if you were doing a realistic castle design, I'd imagine there would be actually quite a few places where the doors would just naturally be open anyways, or that there you would just walk through the hallways normally. Didn't quite make that swing, but thank goodness for ledge grabbing. Yep. Even first generation 3D platforming games have ledge grabbing for the most part. Like, you need that backup and assistance.
Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse.
So we want to drop the chandelier, obviously, and I can see a ring over in that direction. I kind of feel like that should be, there should be more puzzles around this idea.
Need an edge.
I guess they're giving you a hint here that you are supposed to walk over here. Whoops. Let's get these two focused on. Like, I don't have time now to pick up the bullets. He is getting so winded every time he does anything. Well, really, he should just be winded when his health is low. It would make a lot more sense for that to be your default indicator.
That's not gonna work.
We do have a real inconsistency as far as trying to figure out whether a door will open or not. We're not getting items from breaking any of these. And there's not going to be any kind of, there's no achievements or anything that this is PlayStation 2, Xbox, the original Xbox era game, so I don't even think the original Xbox games had achievements.
That's not gonna work.
And, so I wonder if we're just supposed to walk through the doorway. It kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to pull this at this level. Unless it revealed something else. And obviously we were supposed to either grab this ledge or... See, like this is all curved, so I'm pressing the X button to get to this. And we were supposed to have done that. But instead I stupidly fell, and at the end of the day it kind of doesn't matter. Because we accomplished our goal. Now it's not, I guess, worth it to run back and refill my health. Or my canteen. Well, I think part of the problem of this music is that it is playing very specific stanzas that are recognizable from Indiana Jones, but it's like several different songs that would have been separated. They would have been separated out by... What is the whip prompt there? Oh. Like, so yeah, it sounds like the audio is combining 4 or 5 different songs together. Okay. So let me just double check this door doesn't open.
That's not gonna work.
Okay, good. And unlike Resident Evil 4, there's, I assume, not anything super special around the pictures or the decorations. There is a lot of decorations here. Like we're not just seeing what could have been much more generic non-decorated walls. Okay. Now I'm much lower. And that is my question here is, do we need a really wide swing or do we need more height? We may literally have to go back.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah, it feels like these areas are designed in such a way that either the paths will open up later, or they were thinking of some kind of weird multiplayer concept. It's not even showing you anything back there. I don't know what kind of multiplayer game, though, you could possibly make around Indiana Jones. Even when they did, on a rare occasion, make a Lara Croft Tomb Raider multiplayer game, it was a fairly large struggle to add other characters that would make any sense at all. I think we already tried low. Let's try high. Yeah, I guess high was the answer. And then we're just back to the Indiana Jones music. Let me ask something here. If I was to pick this up and throw that, would that do anything? No. I would have kind of expected the liquor bottle to possibly allow me something. You can break a lot of furniture. There's a door. So now I'm down to 3 bullets again after having about 24 bullets. And I guess this door is now unlocked. So I guess the implication here is now, when you unlock it from one side, could you unlock it from the other? That was a weird sound effect. I don't get why there's this pattern over what looks like a picture. And I guess it is just the same tapestry over and over again. Throwing knives.
Jackpot.
So we now have a key to unlock something. We have a throwing knife that I guess we want to play around with, but I may have lost. We can't pick up these. I don't even know what you would call this. I guess this is probably snooker, considering there's no holes on the side for billiards. But I don't even think snooker is the right term there. Get just a little bit of ammo. And do we have the throwing knife? Yes, we do. So that's something we can actually hold in our inventory. So we should hold on to that for later. I also wanted to try out the metal pipe. But I just don't imagine that any of these weapons are going to be particularly useful. Nor do I imagine that there's a secret passage in here. If there are secret passages in here, it's going to very much just be like a lot of secrets in early games, well, old games that are hidden in such a way that it's just kind of crazy and unlikely that you'd ever find it without a walkthrough. A lot of flame sound effects just popping in and out. So on that, we lost our metal pipe. That really does just tell me we would have only been able to use it in one little place. Let's see. So now we're in the library. I can hear water flowing somewhere, but not really see it. What I'm gonna do is try to avoid being seen. There seems to be perhaps a jump this way. Now, I don't really believe that these guys are randomly or procedurally programmed to have a gun or not have a gun based on whether I have a lot of bullets or I have a lot of health. It'd be nice if that was the case, but I just doubt that the game is that complicated. Interesting. You can go in here, but there's nothing in there, so maybe that was supposed to be like a stealth thing. We heard some kind of creaky sound effect. We've yet to find the canteen upgrade, so honestly, if we did find one, I'm not sure it would be very helpful for very long.
That's not gonna work.
Okay. So that only goes that far. Yeah, I really didn't think that we would have ended up in this library. And that would have been all we did in the library, because library scenes in Indiana Jones movies tend to have more surprises and secrets on them. Of course, part of the thing to also take from Indiana Jones movies, since they are action movies, is that as an archaeologist, he does very little book reading or research, on screen at least. but arguably he probably is the most well-read character in a movie ever. Maybe the kid from the Never-Ending Story might be more well-read as far as a character that actually reads a book somewhat on screen. Whereas most characters, whether they're action characters or otherwise,
That's not gonna work.
would never slow down the pace of a movie to read more than a few sentences. Okay, my thought is that we do have to jump to this point to get higher, and that there is no other way to accomplish your goal. Unless it is just a generic jump upward. See, I don't think you would have enough control on a game this old to potentially jump on a ledge and then jump up from the side rail or the guardrail. And is this poster, this big mural, supposed to be anything? It's nice, it's pretty. It definitely highlights a different when you have the opportunity to make a flat 2D image as far as what kind of detail and what kind of art styles you can do versus the 3D textures that we're using for Indiana Jones's pants or jacket or coat. Which those 3D textures aren't terrible, but they are severely lackluster compared to what it could be. So apparently there's something here to swing on. I would have never thought of that.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
It does seem like you can stun lock these characters pretty easily. But we weirdly are in this situation where it seems to me like the enemies are the ones that are encouraged to pick up chairs and weapons, not so much Indiana Jones. So in that there should be a unlock sound effect when I open that door to prove to me that I can come back and do something. Okay, so they want me to swing from the other side to the other side. And that's not doors, that's just paneling. And I guess I could have maybe snuck up on that guy. I wonder... Here we have another glitch. I wonder if they have to take a step forward to attack. Looks to me like there might be a switch up there. But let's...
That's not gonna work.
Figure this out. I'm wondering if there is, on that second floor on the other side, a item to collect, artifact or something. But honestly, I don't think I really would care that much.
That's not gonna work.
I don't think you can change direction mid-leap. So I think the puzzle probably is to... Let's go ahead and check out this area. Anyways. It doesn't seem like...
A fake bookshelf. This place is full of surprises. It looks like there's something missing here.
So now we're looking for a book in the library. That seems a little crazy. So we're gonna have to run against every single wall. I suspect that's not really what we have to do. That would be crazy. Instead, I think what we're going to do is just slightly less crazy in that we're going to solve a different puzzle to make progress towards this puzzle. My main hope here is to not fall to my death. Is there possibly another way to get higher up? See, like, clearly there is a ladder there, so maybe I am supposed to jump and press B. Can I change directions? Like, with the... Let's make sure we don't have an item here already. We'll just take a little bit of fall damage. It would be really crazy if
That's not gonna
if
work.
there was just a book on the bookshelf. It'd be kind of crazy to go back. It'd be kind of crazy if it was down here. I can't grab this card catalog and push it as if it was like a box that needed to be pushed around. Like, theoretically, you could climb up there. You're getting enough height. Okay. Store's open now.
That's not gonna work.
So we haven't interacted with this.
That's not gonna work.
So it does imply to me. Maybe what I'm supposed to do is just crawl. I guess maybe that... I guess that was the solution. They're heavily relying on the idea of crawling alongside walls. And that is just not a really good gameplay mechanic. I want to come back down. I doubt there's safety or any collectible for going higher up. It would be intriguing, I guess, if it turned out that you were supposed to climb all the way through the roof. That would be more like an Assassin's Creed game, honestly. Which this is, as a second generation, in my opinion, game. We're not there yet. We're not to the point where you would have a character that can move that smoothly. I also believe there's a guardrail on that side, so we did have to swing to that other section. We couldn't have walked around hugging the wall on the left side of the third floor. Right. Some more ammo. Some more ammo. Pretty much anytime you open a area, it seems like they want to spawn some new enemies on you. But this is not Resident Evil 4, so there's no Las Plagas zombies that could be in the armor. We might get surprised at some point. What is that blue on the second floor there? It's probably a visual glitch. But yeah. There could be somebody hiding in the armor. But if that happens, it's probably going to be a boss fight right at the end of this level. And there definitely is room. I feel like if I hadn't lowered that, I would have just fallen to my death. Well, probably not to my death, but to some fall damage. There's a real inconsistency there that shouldn't really happen. Like, if you swing, it probably should just automatically let you succeed on that. You just have to press X to place the book. We have the mirror, which that in itself is going to be some ground
castle. This could come
breaking
in handy.
Technology. Now we have a map of the castle halfway through the level, which makes me wonder if you were to go back and play the levels and chapters before this, could you adjust for that? These other things are just books. So we have a working mirror, which even in modern times, a lot of times you don't have games bothering to program a working mirror. And it does seem to me like the mirror is actually reflecting the room. And it isn't just making a false approximation. See, we have like this statue here. If I go and punch the statue and look in the mirror, the statue is gone. It is set back behind this furniture, so punches don't seem like they can break it. Now you have to admit, though, that there are severe limitations as you get into higher resolutions and better graphics around reflecting and doubling the amount of textures and 3D models in an area. And even in this case, they've distinctively picked a fairly small area with nobody in it to have a working mirror. And this very possibly will be the only working mirror in the whole game. So it comes off more as a tech demo experiment than it does a promise of like high quality, this is what video games are going to be in the future. And we've got to do it. So if I pull the trigger, it doesn't break the mirror.
That's not gonna work.
I guess maybe there's a puzzle around the mirror. So, find the difference. We've broken a lot of things. Behind us is a bookcase. Behind that is a bookcase. Behind that is the, what is that, cabinet? 2 chairs. And fire is not really getting reflected. Above us looks exactly the same. Below us looks exactly the same. The fact that you're seeing yourself makes it pretty impossible to believe that this is a fake mirror. So let's do a couple things here. Let's first of all look at the map. We see Vegas Tower, which we probably haven't done yet. We see an observatory, we see a library. I assume we're in the library section now. And we see an armory. And the armory section was the area with the large, infinitely spawning enemies and the confusing way to leave the armory. They're not mentioning the dungeon section before that or the outside section on this map. It does seem like we may have entered the armory where that X is. I'm not 100% sure we entered the library where that X is. But it does seem like it is a slightly smaller map compared to the previous level, and that we have maybe 2 more sections. Did that help me in any way figure out what I'm supposed to do here? No. So, let's see if whipping things might give me an idea. I don't even think I could spin this around if I wanted to. Alright, so let's just walk next to everything and see if we can press X. So there was no puzzle in that room. Interesting. I'm just going to go here and press B and then take a massive amount of fall damage.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
Said we need backup. When we've seen them say we need backup before, that has potentially been cases where they infinitely spawn. But we've also seen them say we need backup a lot of times where they didn't infinitely spawn. Now would probably be a great time to go and refill the cantina before we leave this level. Kind of got stuck on the doors there. Interesting. That's not supposed to happen, I bet. Yeah, the doors should open and close at the same time, but there must be some rudimentary collision avoidance in it that slowed down one door. Okay. So we did a lot of fighting before, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is maybe more of a dangerous booby trap section. I'm not really sure if this is supposed to be maybe a gas trap or if this is supposed to be some kind of spa. We've yet to get to anything that's like particularly magical. Let's just see what happens here. You have a crown. And then, what do we have over here? Crown potentially opens a bull minotaur thing, and we have this big clock, and looks like we've got a real puzzle going on here. We've got two guys with a scythe who seem like they would be more than willing to kill you, and then there's like a devil there. Each clock has, not that you can easily see it, I think a zodiac symbol around its labeling.
It's some kind of creepy riddle. Whoever built this place must have been off his rocker.
So sun guy sword is down, moon guy's sword is to the angle. So this is stealing from the Last Crusade quite a bit.
It's another riddle.
Sun and moon should be balanced at 10, it looks like. We have a tortured skeleton. Of course, for them to be just bones would take a really long time, and frankly the bones would fall off. The only way you'd get something like that is if you staged a skeleton and stitched the bones together. Let's see, 4 for the bull and 2 for the sun. So feels like each one of these are doors you want to open. And then sun at the top and moon on the right to kill the scorpion. So you have two options: either you pull the trigger or you pick up the crown. Let's pick up the crown.
Gas.
So I was right about that being a gas trap. Did the gas actually hurt me in any way? No. It probably would have just killed me after a while. The weirdness here is the clock is not moving, and just doesn't feel like there's anything else you can interact with, so you get into this position. That
Looks like it's waiting for something. I wonder if I have what it's looking for.
So weirdly, I guess you just have to give it to the crown. Just weird that it moved. That's creepy. So you give the devil the crown, and then he goes back in the fire. Which of these do we want first?
It's some kind of control panel. I think I can use it to set the clock.
Now, I've been complaining about there being no puzzles in this game up until this point. We are 4 hours into a game, though, for our first real puzzle. Let's see. There's like no number on this door. There's a 4 and a 2 on this door. There's only positions really on this door. X marks the spot. On that door. I wouldn't be surprised really if this actually is not much of a puzzle and you really just interact and open all 4 doors no matter what. It says WASD to switch the things. Okay. So let's start with the bowl then. We have these zodiac symbols. Do we have a bull? It looks like a bull. And then it was 10 and 2. Nope, 9 and 2. With maybe the moon on 9 and the sun on 2. Okay. And he kind of knows what I'm doing, I guess. The bull is with the crown at 4 and 2, not 9 and 2. Now all of this is working with the all of this is just working with the controller, so we're not running into problems there. I didn't have any real trouble there. Now what would suck here is if we just die instantly, but it also seems like we may very well end up just coming back to this section. Either that or I picked incredibly wisely, but I just don't know how I could have picked the right one on the first try. Like 3 out of 4 chances to be wrong. The sword guy's solution would have been the weirdest question on that, because I don't know how I could have done the sword guys. And the bull led us to a stable. And you can't punch these bales of hay. I would have expected that the bull would have led us to a interesting. You know what? It never occurred to me that the assistant lady would just be a ninja. Like the kind of most basic, obvious solution to that, instead of her being mystical and magical, would have been to make her just a ninja. Alright, so we don't want to waste bullets because this is the armory area, I guess, that we're going back to. And there's no getting back into that puzzle area, so maybe that is a central hub and we're going to interact with it multiple times. Or maybe I just did get the right solution the first try.
That's not gonna work.
There really is just no stealth button here, though.
That's not gonna work.
There's a easy to overlook ladder. This really does feel like a stealth sequence now. So we could use this chain maybe to swing down to a lower level. Compared to this path, which seems like nothing. Okay. I assume we are probably supposed to go down. Like, the thing we haven't done here, though, is we haven't found the collectible we were supposed to find. That was very much a leap of faith in assuming that I would actually break the glass and not just smack into it, which is also very possible as far as what could have happened.
That's not.
You could definitely get more flourishes.
That's
in a section like that where you fly through the glass. In that, I probably should have just had a cutscene. Interesting, his little cigarette that he was smoking floated in the air there. Yeah, there really should have just been a cutscene at that point, though, where we...
A zip line. That could come in handy if I need to make a getaway.
Seems like we might have a chase sequence that appears. Taking full damage still. But that means we can get back up there. I suppose it's an interesting question that needs to be asked here. Since this is a 2003 game, the difference between like ninjas from Japan and Chinese people would have been known, but since this was set in like the 1940s, there being any real difference mentally between Indiana Jones, between one Asian and another Asian, would be extremely minimal. Even for an archaeologist, he wouldn't make that big of a difference. So her being a ninja may not need to be explained as much.
I must be directly over the armory.
I guess I'm supposed to punch my way in. I guess that's exactly it.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
But you can only come in through that one side. Interesting. You see, there you have a cutscene taking that guy out. I appreciate that. Of course, depending on the timing, the fact also remains in real-world history that Japan secretly ran China for a while.
I have a feeling there's a connection with the broken sword in the basement.
There's a point-and-click adventure game called Broken Sword, so maybe that's a bit of a reference. I keep expecting to either find something or these guys to start attacking me. Nothing about this tapestry. So, yeah, maybe she is Japanese and a ninja and secretly trying to acquire the Emperor's tomb.
Der Amerikaner, tötet ihn!
It's funny how the phrase "kill him" isn't getting translated, but everything else is fairly obvious. He already dropped his gun, but I'll take another gun.
That's not gonna work.
Let's check our health. It would be different, certainly, in an Indiana Jones game, since this is also stealing a whole bunch of ideas. I'm not getting back up there, it seems. Like, there's no way you're gonna climb back up through there. Which means I am coming out this way, which means potentially we may have to just go in circles.
Wir können hier Hilfe gebrauchen.
Oh, come on. That's not fair. These guns are not really doing a lot of damage. But having two guys machine gun me is insane. We'll just keep on drinking the water and not using the med kits unless we have major damage. So yeah, we're back to having an SMG gun, and this time I think I will just hold on to those bullets. I'm also somewhat confused because I thought this door was going to open out on the ground there, which is exactly where I definitely didn't want to be.
That's
Alright. So, supposed to be in this chase sequence. You really wouldn't have had much of an opportunity, though, to avoid that fight. That's a weird way to use the whip, but probably a pretty smart way to use the whip to slide down. It's interesting because what we're seeing here too is an attempt at a much more hub style of gameplay. Darn it. That was me dropping a gun. So when I pick up the Luger, I still don't get any bullets from that. So if I am going to use any weapon, it is going to have to be the SMG. Because we have no more bullets for any of the other guns.
That's not good.
And it does seem like we're just never going to open into that section. The game up until this point has been incredibly linear. So to potentially have a whole section around the central puzzle is an interesting thought. And I assume nothing is going to change here. We're going to hand over the broken sword. You don't have to select it from the menu or anything. And with that, I now know that this is a somewhat linear experience. It's just looping back to the hub. We got the crown to start with. We opened the door to crown. We just got a broken sword. So this would be the door that we have to open. We can't open this door, and we can't open this door yet. So, Scorpion, sun at the top, and moon on the right. Where's our scorpion? And just like that, we open the next door. And just like that, I think we have a general idea of how much more gameplay is in this level. There's still a very consistent interlocking of fighting alongside the gameplay, which I don't know if I fully appreciate that, but I kind of get what they're doing. But we now see that the X in the armory was that broken sword, which implies to me that we're probably going to have to go to the observatory and the library in Vegas Tower to get the 3 remaining collectibles to get back to the central area. That may mean that there are either going to be some fairly long hallways to connect us to those areas, or there are going to be fairly long levels to get to those points. Yeah. But I could also see them trying to speed this whole process up. Otherwise, the chapters up until finding this clock puzzle were really just prequel. Now, if it is a case that Prague was made by a completely different developer than the first level was, and it would kind of make sense if this was, at least on a first thought process, going to be the entirety of the game. It doesn't quite work for Indiana Jones, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Prague is a fairly large level, and then there's another slightly smaller level after Prague to get the third piece of the third orb, or whatever those pieces of some kind of spirit mirror or something it was called. And then I wouldn't be surprised if there was just a final level in the Emperor's Tomb after that point that was maybe bigger. But overall, it looks like there might be quite a lot of levels. This game really could just go on and on and on. And that could be a problem, certainly, because I don't know how many bad guy Germans, I don't even know if they're really Nazis. They're not so much in like SS uniforms or German army uniforms. You assume they are, but they haven't really said. So yeah, I don't know how many of those I could end up punching and enjoy punching, since the punching mechanic is mediocre at best. It's medium, average, and the shooting mechanic is definitely not anything to write home about, particularly with the limited number of bullets. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.